What's going on, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. You guys, happy Saturday. I hope y'all are enjoying your weekend. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. So we are back in the building. Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to me for being here. It's Saturday, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all so much for supporting the channel. We gonna jump right into this live stream, y'all. As you come in, make sure you guys are hitting the like button per usual. Hit the thumbs up the live stream. That definitely helps the channel out, y'all. Make sure you are hitting the thumbs up button. It definitely helps the channel. If you are new in the building and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Make sure you guys are subscribing and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. All right. So make sure you guys are doing that. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you guys follow me on my second channel. Go subscribe to the second channel. Also follow me on Twitch. If you want to, go ahead and follow me over there. Yeah. Shout out to Alex. Alex in the building. What's going on, Alex? I hope you're doing well. Kevin from Brooklyn. What's up, Kevin? Hope all is well. Successful MD in the building. Shout out to you, Ryan Wedlow. Once again, thank you for being here, Ryan. Lorenzo Redmond in the building as well. Shout out to you, Lorenzo. Who else? OMG Entertainer. What's going on? Fourth Dimension. Eric Stiegel. What's going on? Farrell. What's going on, Farrell? Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate you, Farrell, for being here. I hope all is well with you. Avenge the Ancestors. UFO Kamikaze 1 and Nigel. Thank y'all so much for being here, you guys. So y'all see the title, The Gender War Must End, plus woman realize she lost a good man. And can women grieve their ex? Can you grieve your ex? I have a video I want to share with you guys on that. I definitely want to get y'all thoughts on this one, on all of the topics listed. So make sure you are ready to chime in. Also, if you're feeling generous and you want to support the channel via Cash App or Super Chat, go ahead and do that as well. It definitely helps the channel out. All right. So enough of me talking, y'all. We're going to get into the topics. So first topic, the gender war must end. I have a clip from this young lady. Her name is, I think is Adia. She kind of touched on this, and I want to get your thoughts on what she had to say. I put a link to her channel in the description box. So make sure if you want to go over and support her channel, go ahead and support her channel. I'm gonna go ahead and play what she had to say, and I definitely want to get y'all thoughts on it. So here we go. Make sure you guys hit the like button as you come into the building. Hit the like button. Hit the like button right now. Go ahead and hit the like button, you guys. Here's the video clip. Here we go.
Men and women, we all have to do better. We need to all do our part to put an end to this war of the sexes that's going on, because men and women are meant to be supportive of one another. We all have to do the work to heal our own inner masculine and feminine energies, so we're not unconsciously and subconsciously projecting our own BS onto others. We all have to take accountability for where we have chosen people that have hurt us, or we have put ourselves in relationships that hurt us and that put us in harm's way. It's not every woman's fault, men, that you were with one traumatized woman. And women, it's not every man's fault that you chose to involve yourself with one toxic and traumatized man. And it's not to blame outward, to point fingers outward, and it's also not to blame and down on ourselves. It's for all of us to take accountability for ourselves, for our own traumas, our own wounds, the things that we've seen in our families passed down through the lineage. We have to take a real close and hard look at these things so that we're not the ones who are perpetuating this war against men and women, because unless we're giving energy to it, it's not real. There are beautiful, loving, respectful women out in the world, and there are beautiful, loving, respectful, loyal, and dedicated men in the world. We exist. They exist.
Now, let me just chime in there. And of course, shout out to her. I agree with what she's saying. I say it all the time. There are good men out there. There are good women out there, but a lot of the good women are in relationships or married. You know, just like a lot of the men are married as well. But there's still good men out there. But I think what she said was truthful, but I think there's so much of the negativity that's out there. There's so many women who believe what they're saying and they're spreading it. And I think sometimes that type of energy can affect the women who have otherwise good ideas or good a good thought process. You know what I mean? The ones who don't think in this independent boss chick type of way. I do think that some of those women have been influenced by the ratchet hyenas who are out here who are so staunch on believing that a man is, supposed to be a certain way and he has to do this and have to do that. All these unrealistic expectations that I talk about. I think a lot of the women who would otherwise be good women are definitely being influenced by the ratchet majority. The ones who are out here who are pushing this narrative that women should expect all of these unrealistic things from men, till the women who normally wouldn't think like that are starting to pick that up and thinking that that's what they deserve and that's what they should expect. So they're starting to think that, an average man is not good enough. They're starting to repeat this and think about it and start to think whether they're asking for too little or should they, deserve or expect more. So I think that's the danger of a lot of the negative rhetoric that we hear from these hyenas. And shout out to Crimson Cure, because I love when she talk about the hyenas. So I just think that it's important for women to realize that you should not be following a bunch of single women who have not had the outcomes that they think they deserve and what they should expect from a man. It's something that they're conjuring up, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I think that they're making this up and they're starting to believe their own hype. They're starting to believe that this is what they should be expecting, what they should get, even though they've never experienced it in their entire lives. And so I just think that that's the slippery slope of it all. While I do think that there are some good women somewhere, and of course I believe that there are good men out here, the good men for honestly, the modern women, as I would call them, I don't think they're deserving of the good men that are out here, because I think these men that are out here who have prioritized getting themselves together, doing what they need to do to build themselves up, I don't think these modern women deserve the good men that are out there. And once again, I say this for the good women who are out there. These women, you need to speak up. This is considered a modern society. You can't continue to think that you just can sit back, because the men are moving differently. It's not back in the day when before chivalry was dead, when men, would court women and approach women and ladies, women who act like ladies and presented themselves in a ladylike manner. It's not that type of time these days. It's a different time. So those women you have to push forward. You have to stand out. You have to put yourself out there. If you want to get if you're a good woman and you want a man, you need to make yourself known, because these men are very apprehensive about approaching these women, because these women made it that way. So if you are a good woman, you really have to separate yourself from the pack, and you really have to stand out, and you may have to do the approaching. I just think that that's how it's going to end up being. This is a different day and age. You can't go about the old traditional ways of meeting men anymore, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. But in my opinion, I think that's what they're going to have to do, because it's so saturated with a bunch of these modern women who think that they don't really need a man, but they want one. And they think that everything's since sliced bread, honey. And they really think that they're the prize. And they really out here telling women, girl, you should not settle. We should not settle. None of us, we're all 10s. And once again, it doesn't matter if you're 300-400 pounds. It don't matter if the obesity rates. It don't matter how many single mothers we got out here. It don't matter how many baby daddies they got. They all still think that they're 10s and that they're the prizes and that they won't settle. So with this type of climate, the good women, you got to put yourself in front of that. You got to make yourself be seen. You got to show, you got to prove something. I'm just saying, you got to put yourself out there so that these men will know that you're different from the rest. You got to really distinguish yourself because it's too much of the hyena-ness going on. So that's how I feel about it. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat, says DeeDee, it appears that you and only a few other women that will point out the truth. It's evident most women don't want good men until they fail. Exactly. And that's sad. Successful MD is sad, but it's the reality of the times that we're living in. It's just what it is. And, for the young women coming up, I think they need to have something different. We can't just let the hyenas just take over. They've been doing that for years and telling these women, all men are bad. And, oh my God, you need to be asking this and you need this from a man. Oh, these average men are dusties and girl, you need this. And without them actually working on themselves. I agree with what the woman says in this video clip because I say it all the time. Look, we all are works in progress. We all need to work on ourselves. And I stand by that. Because even being married doesn't mean that the work stops. You still need to work on yourself. You can always better certain things about yourself. That's what keeps you going. You just can't think that if you do get a man and you just can't get comfortable there and not think that, if you still have some issues that you shouldn't be working on yourself. That's how I feel about that. It's not all about the money. It's about you working on yourself to better your experiences in life with a partner, with a spouse, your children, other relationships, all of it. So I just think that, this idea of getting somebody perfect is ridiculous. And this is what a lot of these modern women are out here pushing, that the man basically has to be perfect and the women could just be flawed as all outdoors and he's supposed to just accept them. And that is not what it is. But if there are women out there, which I do believe there are, who don't think like that and who have more of a traditional value, who's willing to be cooperative with a man and really just want companionship, want love, want marriage, and is not superficial, baby, you're going to have to make yourself, you're going to have to stand out. You are not going to be able to just hide in the background and wait for him to find you because you're going to be missing out. That's how I feel about that. Thank you once again for the super chat, Successful MD. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Paul Harrison, thank you so much for being here. Shout out to you for the generous super chat. I appreciate you as well. Paul says, hey, DeeDee, thanks for taking the time on this Saturday to educate and uplift us. Let's continue the financial love, people. Our sister DeeDee is bringing us that godly info that we all have been missing. Hashtag DeeDee for president. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for supporting, Paul. You definitely have been showing up and showing out, and I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much, because none of you guys, all of you, you don't have to support, but I appreciate the support and for supporting the channel and the message. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you once again, Paul. Yeah, I mean, somebody got to say it, because I honestly, and I try to be as honest as I possibly can. I really just think it's ridiculous. I really think this modern way that a lot of these women are going is a mistake. And I really don't think that it's benefiting our communities. It's not benefiting anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just a lot of these women just don't know. Either they don't know what they're doing, or they're just so misguided and they really believe what they're saying, or they know it's nothing to it and they just want to perpetuate it anyway. Either way, it's still not a good look. It's really not. What's going on, Classic Perspective says, I don't know. We have women in their 60s like Lisa Ray and Vivica who won't date, I guess, unless their man can pay their bills. Right. That's the future for these young women. And see, Classic Perspective, while that is true, I think, I saw this video. Thank you for the super chat, Classic. I appreciate you for supporting the channel. I think those women should be the examples of what women should not be, what women should not aspire to, to be. But, I don't know. I don't know. I think there are some women, because I saw this video a while back and I played it like in previous live streams or a while back, where this woman was talking to these young girls. She was saying, listen, work with your man. She had an accent. I don't know if you guys remember that. She was like, work with your man. You could do so much better with the man, not just you all by yourself. Because she said herself, she thought she could do it all by herself. And she said, no, she could have much more success with a man, with somebody that you're working with. She was telling the young girls that, and they seem to understand where she was coming from, and they got it. While I think this is so prevalent because it's the loudest thing, it's the thing that's pushed in the forefront, I think there are some young people who do get it, who are not raised that way, who actually know better. But you know, the loudest ones in the room always get the attention initially, because you're loud and you're just out front. That's what seems to be the norm. But like the lady said in the video, there are good women and men out here, but how can those good women and men find each other? That's the thing. And are the women who normally would be good women and have their own mind, are they being influenced by these hyenas? I think they are. And I think that's unfortunate. And, you know, it looks bad when you're looking just strictly on social media. It looks horrible. But out here in the world, you know, there's somebody. There's got to be some good women left. I'm just saying. I mean, I believe there are, but I mean, a lot of the women that are good, just like a lot of the good men, either are in relationships or already married. That's the thing. So it's gonna be rough, I think, and I'm concerned about that because I want my sons to find good wives. I want my daughters to find husbands. I want them to find good relationships. You know, and I don't want, you know, eventually I want grandchildren. Like, so I don't know what is going on, but look, I'm going to try to do as much as I could on my end to try to let them know, look, look, young ladies, this is not where it's at. Being a 304 is not where it's at. I don't care how empowering they made you think that is. It is not good to put yourself out there like that, because you're going to end up like Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray. Those ladies were very attractive in their younger years, you know, and they wasted all that time, played around, thought they had time. Now look at them. Whether they want to admit it or not, look at them. You know, still looking for a man. This is why I say a lot of these women like to say, I don't want a man, I don't need one. But look at Lisa Ray and Vivica. They still out here trying to date. At 60 years old, they still trying to date. So if you really didn't need a man, and why are you still looking for one? This is what I want the younger generation of young ladies to see, like to understand that. Do you want to end up, yeah, they have a successful careers, but is that all you want in life? Is that all you want? Like, is that it? Thank you once again for the super chat, Classic Perspective. It's just a mess. Let's play a little bit more of this clip, a little bit more of this. Here we go.
But in order to align with that type of man or woman, we have to do the work to become that man or woman. We have to become what it is that we desire in partnership and what it is that we desire to see in the world. So men and women, we all gotta do a better job at being the most beautiful, optimal version of ourselves, which of course requires commitment and work. But that's the work that we're here to do, unless we wanna be toxic and traumatized our whole lives. But what's the fun in that? What's the fun in perpetuating pain and suffering, the same pain and suffering that we saw our mothers and our fathers and our families go through? It's not the vibe, okay?
And it is not. Shout out to her. Shout out to Adia. Listen, she's absolutely right. Look, if this is why I say the truth shall set you free. Because look, a lot of us, we grew up seeing trauma. We seen our mother struggle by herself. I know I did. And I'm a result of that. I was a result of the struggle. Like, you know, a lot of things we didn't have, and growing up with that and seeing that, it makes you think about what you want for your life. It makes you think about what direction you want to go, and what you want to do. It's scary, but at the same time, you know, I don't want that. I don't want that. And if I'm going to have children, I don't want them like that. You know what I'm saying? And I want better for my kids. I want a better family situation. So a lot of times you have to look at your livelihood, your circumstances, the trauma, the things you grew up with, the things that you've seen, and evaluate and look at it for real. Because I think a lot of times we don't want to address our mothers. We don't want to talk about, the stuff that went on with our parents or whatever, because it's almost like we try to protect them. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to show them in a bad light. We don't want to discuss them or talk about them because we don't want to offend them. As traumatizing and toxic as some of our upbringings were, you still love your mother. If you was raised by just a single mother, or if you have your parents and it was toxic, you love your parents. So you don't want to put them in a bad light. You don't want to talk about them negatively because somehow, we were taught that if you do that, you're going to have bad luck in your life. If you don't, if you say things bad about your parents, things are going to be bad for you. It's like a kind of karma. So you kind of think, you can't really talk about the things that you saw that was, it was not good when it comes to your mother or your father or your parents. You're just supposed to ignore it, even though you're the consequence of that. You looking at your life as a child, you looking at, how you're being raised and what things that you don't have and how hard it is. And you're taught to look at them and just, especially being raised by a single mother, you're looking at them as, you feel sorry for them. I know I did, because we were put with this guilt trip, like, I'm the only, because she's the only one there. And because the father is not there, she's the only one there. And somehow you're supposed to give them praise for raising you in spite of. You get what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to feel good about the situation because your mother is doing the best that she could. Now, while she's doing the best she could, if you're the recipient of that, if you don't have food, if you don't have clothes, if you don't have like basic things, you get that. And I think a lot of young people grow up and they repeat that, my mom was a single mother and she did all that she could. So now the pressure end up being on you to thrive, to do better, to still like give her something back. You get what I'm saying? Let me know if I'm making sense here. Where you feel like you have the obligation to do something to help her or to give back because she raised you by herself, even though it was a struggle, and you realize and you like, maybe you can go get a job or something like that. You see areas where she could improve, but she's not doing it. But you still supposed to look at her as, like, she did the best she could. And now I got to work hard to take care of her because she was a single mother. Like, it's almost like you reward them for making that choice. And you don't look at the choice you see it as negative, but you're not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to just go with it and then reward her for being a single mother, even though because she struggled and because you didn't have everything. She couldn't provide you the basic things, but you're supposed to reward them for being a good mother. You know what I'm saying? Look. It's crazy. So sometimes you grow up with this guilt, this feeling like, my mother struggled, so now I got it. And then as you grow up, she's still struggling, but she's older. She's still by herself. She's still struggling. So a lot of children grow up with this idea that they have to turn around and take care of their mothers, even though their mothers are in a position to take care of themselves. I'm not talking about a 60, 70-year-old lady. I'm talking about all these years, you're not doing much yourself. But you put the guilt trip on the children to make them feel sympathy for you so they can get up and want to just take care of you. And this is how you get these son husbands, where they end up working to take care of their mothers who are not taking care of themselves, didn't prioritize a man. You had child after child after child after child, government assistance. You didn't do anything, barely worked, didn't want to. See, this is where now as an adult, I realized that was deadbeat mentality. That was deadbeat behavior. I'm sorry. Because you didn't want to work. And it's not the case for everybody. This is just me talking about my experience. Deadbeat mentality. Didn't want to work, didn't want to do anything. Blame everybody else for your issues, but you're not doing anything to better your situation. And the children that you brought here did not push you to do anything better. People, I put my kids first and my children helped me to grow up. That may be the case for some, or my children forced me to be responsible. No, everybody don't move like that. And for the ones who don't, they sit there because you get used to that government assistance. You're used to somebody helping you, even though it's so small. You're not getting very much, but you're used to that. And you work within, you sit there and you get that little bit of money, don't want to work, don't want to do anything else, and looking for somebody else to just come in and take care of you. While all the while, the children in that situation are the ones who suffer. The children are the ones who suffer. And a lot of times in those situations, those people never show any accountability. They just get old and they still don't have any accountability. They look at themselves as if they were perfect. They look at themselves as if they did everything right. There's nothing they see that they did wrong. And that's a problem. And that's a cycle that's being perpetuated. And that's why I see right through these hyena modern women, because I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've experienced it through my own mother. It's like, and several others. And a lot of these women think the same. You love them, but you also got to realize the BS that they chose. You cannot ignore the horrible mistakes that they made. I'm sorry, because to me, it makes you delusional too. And you know, and I think they don't like it when you don't sit there and lie and pretend like, oh, they feel good when they get old to say, oh yeah, I did good with my kids and I raised them and I did the best I could, but the best you could wasn't good enough. But they don't say that. Oh, I did the best I could and I raised them up and they all doing good. I was a good mother. You know, they start lying, and they want you to lie too. But when you're the type who don't lie and call it like it is, they don't want to fool with you, because then now they know that you're the truth teller. You're not gonna sugarcoat it. You're not gonna sit there and pretend like none of this stuff happened, that you were just blind and you didn't have enough food and you didn't have adequate clothing and you didn't have the basic things you needed, and then you chose wrong. You didn't prioritize a man, a husband. You're just out here sleeping with this one, that, making all these children, and you constantly did that to the end, you know? So no, I'm not going to ignore that. I can empathize with you on some aspects, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend and lie that I didn't see what I saw. I didn't go through what I went through, that there wasn't no toxic and trauma there. I'm not going to do that, because I need to make sure that my sanity is correct. I'm not going to play with that, because that's doing too much. So this is why I get it. But a lot of these women hate to go to the source. They hate to go to their mothers and talk to their mothers and their grandmothers and ask them some questions, because they're going to get shot down. Because these women can get old as dirt and they're still not going to be accountable for their actions. They're going to still find a way to blame it on somebody else and never take any accountability. And they die with that. They're never going to be accountable for their actions and how it affected the very children that they say they care about. So baby, no. Successful MD says being a leech, hyena, and thotty is all voluntary. It is. Thank you so much for the super chat, Successful MD. It's a choice. It's a choice that they make. Classic perspective. But before I read this, and I say all that to say, when she talked about being accountable and dealing with your own trauma, because a lot of the trauma that a lot of women are dealing with, it comes from their mothers. A lot of it. It comes from their upbringing. It comes from their childhood. It comes from experiences that they had starting in their own household with their mothers. But they don't want to go that deep because it's hurtful, and they know that it's going to draw a wedge between them and their mothers, and they don't want that. And I get it. But if you want to get rid of that trauma and do better, you're going to have to tackle that. You can't just keep ignoring that and acting as if that didn't cause you any issues. Because the issues a lot of these women are facing, it didn't start with the men. It started with their own mothers, and they hate to go there because they know it's going to be a problem, and they know their mothers are not going to want to hear it, and they don't want to dredge that up. They rather keep the relationship like it is than to really get to the root of it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these mothers were scandalous back then too. There's a lot of stories. So you know that's where they're gonna have to go, and a lot of them don't want to do that. Classic perspective. Thank you for the super chat. Says I predicted a 90% single mother rate, and a 50% antidepressants medication takers makes me want to become a medical superfly. Child, it's bad, Classy. Thank you for the super chat. Child, it's a mess. It really is. Successful MD also says, I'm not on social media and the results are the same. Okay. Yeah. I mean, so it's out here. But once again, I will say it again. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat. The women, if there are good women out there, you got to distinguish yourself. You got to set yourself apart from the hyena tribes, because if not, how are these men going to know what you're all about when they because now I think men just assume that all these women are this way, so they're not approaching them, they're not trying to do nothing. So y'all gonna have to do something different. The women out here who are looking for good men, and you're a good woman, you need to you gotta set yourself apart. I'm just saying. Paul Harrison, thank you once again for the super chat, says, I think that Vivica Foxes and others need to take the life advice given by that late Diane Carroll. Exactly. She was rich, well-to-do, but she couldn't keep a man, and at the end of her life, she admitted that it was all her fault. She sure did. She sure did. And I think there are many examples of women like that, but I think a lot of these women don't believe that that'll be them. They don't believe that that will be their story. They think that somehow they're going to, that's not going to be them. They're going to be able to do something differently. And, but with the same mentality that they have, they don't think that they have to listen to a man or prioritize a man young or anything like that. They just think that they can still go with what they were taught to do and be. And somehow when they're ready, it's going to all work out. And they're not looking at the people before them and looking at all these examples of how it looks. And they think that it's going to be different for them. And then by the time they're older, when they finally get to the age where they think now they're ready to settle down and it's not happening, they still think they can manifest it and manifest everything that they want. And then what happens is they're constantly getting older. Now you're 40, now you're 50, and you still single, no kids, or you decide to go get a kid by Pookie. You're a single mother and you're by yourself. And then this is when the depression sets in. This is when they're taking those antidepressant drugs, and they're crying on social media. And they're miserable and bitter but you don't want to look at yourself and taking the accountability and blame it on you. You want to blame it on everybody else. You see, that's where that comes from. Thank you once again, Paul, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Divine Photos, thank you for the super chat, says, good women that don't call out the 304 behavior are just as problematic as the 304s. More good women need to stand 10 toes down and let it be known. I agree, Divine Photos. Thank you once again for the super chat. I agree. I think more women need to speak out on this. Women who have marriages, women who are in good relationships with good men. I think more of those women need to speak out and show the other side. Stop letting these hyenas think that every man is just bad and all relationships are bad, because that's the narrative that they put out there, that all black men, let's make that clear, all black men are bad and they're just all dusties and they all the same, when all black men are not the same, and they're not all cheaters. They're not all trying to take advantage of women. They're not all out here just doing the worst things possible. No, that's just the one. I wish women would just say, look, that's your experience. Speak on your experience. This is why I can't speak on horrible black men, because that's not my experience. I can't sit up here and lie and say, oh, all the black men that I've ever met are just so horrible and bad. No, because that's not my experience. See, so I got to speak on my experiences, and I have not experienced all these horrible black dusties. I've not experienced that. So this is why I say, and that's why I can't get on here and say, oh yeah, all these black men are just bad. I know that there are horrible black men that exist. I know that there are men out here who don't take care of their responsibilities. I know that there are men out here who don't do the right things and try to use and take advantage of women. I know that it exists, and I don't have to have had experienced it to know that it exists. I get that. But I also know that there are a lot of good black men out here who have wives. They're taking care of their children. They're doing really good with their family. They're not out here cheating and slinging that thing all over the place. They're faithful to their wives, and they're doing well. So you got to understand that there's a mixture of all of this. It's not, but the way they talk, like, oh, don't, you need to get you a white man because these black men are just horrible, all of them. That's just crazy rhetoric to me. And I know that that's not true. Thank you once again, Divine Photos. It's just not true. And so I just want women to be honest and stop just making it seem like this is all black men because you haven't experienced a good man, because you can't attract a good man, because you yourself is probably not, you're not a good person. You know, you're not a good person. You're not giving the energy that would attract that type of guy. You're giving hood rat energy, and that's why you get the men that you get. That's why you get the men who only want to take advantage of you, because you're not giving the right energy for the type of man that that you say you want. Classic Perspective, thank you for the super chat. Says, all jokes aside, this migrant gang called what trendy arguer has been hijacking apartment complexes from majority women. So ladies, let's see that strength. I know. Look. Ooh, I got a video that I'll be putting out a little bit on that because I can't ignore it. This election season, the migrants, all of this stuff that's going on, baby, it's a mess. And I'm gonna kind of speak to it a little bit. Y'all know I don't really do politics on this channel, but I cannot ignore what I'm seeing. So I'm gonna have to do a video on it because it's just getting out of hand, and it's a lot. So I'm gonna touch on it. I touch on politics a little bit, but I can't ignore what I'm seeing. It's interesting that you said that, Classy, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna touch on that, y'all, and I want to get y'all thoughts on it when I do. So thank you once again for the super chat. Next level, thank you for the super chat. Says, Bible says, honor thy father and mother in that order. What are the excuses and honor for the father since they're waiting on God for a blessing? Right. Well, a lot of these women claim that they are Christians and they always like to bring God into it, but they're definitely outside of the order of that. They're not trying to listen to that. They want what they want the way they want it, and they don't care about it. Bible, scriptures, they don't care about God or any of that when they want what they want. They always talk about, well, God gonna bring me my blessing and do all this. You're not even operating within that. You're all outside of what God would want, but you bring it up when it's convenient, but you're not really doing what God would have you do. They don't want to hear that order. Next level. They don't want to hear anything that goes outside of what they want. You use Bible and God when you think it's convenient, but then when somebody asks you certain religious things that God would say that you should be doing, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that. It's just a bunch of talking. It's just a bunch of talking. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to go with the scriptures of what God say you should be doing as a woman or as a wife. It goes against all of that. They don't care. They're just talking, and it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to align with anything. It's just what they want to say. And then the echo chamber of women just start repeating it, and that makes it factual. And that's what they go with, even though they're not benefiting anything. They're not getting ahead. You're not getting what you want. You're just complaining. So they're not trying to hear that. Next level. But thank you once again for the super chat. They're not trying to hear it. They want to do what they want to do. And if anybody say anything against it, they got a problem with you. Successful MD, thank you once again for the super chat. Says, many married women are undercover hyenas. Oh, wow. Many married women are undercover hyenas. Well, listen, that might be true because as we see, so many of these married women are leaving their husbands for reasons that don't make any sense. So was she a chameleon the whole time? Was you faking the funk while this man was doing well financially? And then when you got tired of him, you said, oh, the hell with him. I'm going to find me a better one. Maybe they are. Because why? Because look, they weren't in the marriage for the right reasons. I think any woman who decides to leave her husband just because of finances or whatever, or just for no reason at all, Probably was an undercover hyena. I mean, you was only there for certain reasons, and then those vows that you made, the commitment, and for better or worse, and to sick, all that didn't mean anything. It just went out the window. You just, cross your fingers and hit them behind your back, and said it, knowing good and well that you weren't going to honor those, or it didn't mean anything to you. It's crazy. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat once again. It's just a hot mess, though. Let's move on, you guys. I want to play this next clip from this woman who said she had a good man, and I'm gonna let her explain it. So make sure you guys chime in on this. Also, go ahead, hit the like button, you guys. Make sure you are hitting the like button. Let's get into it. Here we go.
I ended up losing the man that I was supposed to marry because I was too hot in the ass. I was thinking I was the shit and had options. And I did. But they wasn't good fucking options. I ended up losing a man that I would call 3 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to cuddle. And this man was coming town to see me. You know what I mean? 3 o'clock in the morning. What man you know doing that? I had a man that knew me and my son was in the house hot as fuck. He went out of his way and spent $300 on getting me and my baby an air conditioner to put in our house. And me and that man ended up hitting a rough patch in our relationship. And I decided to go seek, other options because I thought they was better. And, at the time, dealing with it and being in the midst of it, it might have seemed like it was better. It might have seemed like, yeah, this is a lot better. But, after it's all said and done, that shit wasn't better. You know why? Because that man that I was supposed to marry wouldn't have had me dealing with my pregnancy alone. He wouldn't have left me out to go to every single appointment by myself. He wouldn't have had me in a delivery room by myself giving birth to not one, but 2 babies at one time. That man wouldn't have missed his kid's first birthday. That man wouldn't have not seen his kids in over a year in person. That man...
Let me pause her there, child. See, this is, hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. See, this is what a lot of women don't want to admit. See, at least I'll give her some for admitting and owning up that she made a mistake. And I'm going to play the rest of the clip in a second. But, men, and I see y'all comments, a lot of men, and I see it all the time, are not sympathetic toward this because they know that y'all do this. But a lot of women don't admit to it. They don't admit to it. They don't say, I messed up. Damn, he was a good dude. I know it. A lot of them don't admit that. No accountability. I will give her some for at least admitting that she messed up. A lot of women don't do that. All they do is say, oh, he was a narcissist, he was controlling, and I had to get out of there. So you admit that you left, but you want to put it on him still. You want to put it all on him. He was all the problem. Not the fact that a lot of these women have encountered good men. That's what they won't tell you either. They've encountered good men like she did. A man who clearly must have liked her and was willing to go out of his way for her, even though she had a child. So he was probably into her enough to want to do that, but she said they hit a rough patch, and she said, F it, I'm out of here. So no matter how good he was to her, and she knew this, and I don't know, I mean, there's so many women who have exposed this, who said they ran into a good man, but the good man wasn't good enough. They didn't want just a good man. Well, what the hell do you want? What do you want? You want a guy, like she's explaining now, who she ended up having look like she had twins for, and he was no good. Left her there, got knocked up, didn't give a shit about them children, didn't give a shit about her, went on by this business, left her to handle all that by herself, didn't give a care to see his kids, and don't care. And now she's here talking about it. But now you realize you had a guy who was going out of his way for you, who would do anything for you, seemed like, who actually probably liked you and cared about you, but that wasn't good enough. You had to go with I don't know, a strapping pookie. I don't know. Somebody who you thought was attractive, or now you gonna show him. Oh, y'all had a rough patch, so I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go over and get me a pookie and get pregnant with twins. And I'm gonna show you. Mm-hmm. And then no, the gag is all on you. Cause you ran off and got with you had a good guy that wasn't good enough. You go with the dudes who don't give a damn, and now you realize now that man probably moved on. Either have another woman and he ain't coming back to you because you did him dirty. See, this is what a lot of these women leave out. They don't tell you the whole story. Oh, he's just a narcissist. Oh, he was controlling and he left me with a baby. No. A lot of these women have come across good men that they didn't want to be with. See, good just wasn't enough. Somebody who actually seemed to care about you and was interested in you and cared about if you were okay. He cared if you were breathing or not. He cared, about you and what you needed and things like that. So what happens is you leave those dudes, you mess over them, and then you come across Pookie and Ray Ray and get knocked up, and now you're a statistic, and now you're complaining and saying all men bitter, knowing that guy. There was a lot of these women have come across guys that would have been husband material, but they didn't want that. See, what you feel, your feelings and these vibes and all this BS that they talk about is what you're looking for from a dude. You want to have fun all the time. So your level of fun and a guy who's got vibes and all this is more attractive to you than a guy who actually would take you seriously and probably would be husband material, marry you and make an honest woman out of you and be there for you. But see, no, that ain't good enough. You ready to leave them with the quickness and go with some Pookie who just gonna knock you up and walk away. And then now you're a bitter, and we don't need any more of that. We don't need no more of that because there's too many bitter baby mamas out here complaining. When you had a good man and you wasn't attracted to him, or you messed over him, left him, and thought you could do better. How many times that lady, I don't know her name, but she always talking about, oh, well, I had a good guy. He treated me great. He was so this, so that, but he wasn't for me. Well, girl, what the hell do you want? What are you looking? You looking for a man to pimp slap you? What you want? What you want? You had a good dude. That wasn't enough. What are you looking for? What do y'all think these men supposed to be? What you think you gonna get what are you looking for? Because they not finding it. And that same woman, I don't know her name, but she comes back and says, well, I go out and no man is approaching me. Well, what the hell you think is going to happen? They may have seen your damn video. What you want? A guy to walk up with swag and pimp slap you and tell you you ain't ish, and then you going to be attracted to that? What you want? You need the men to dog you out to make you feel like he got a vibe? Like, what the hell do y'all want? It's a delusional mentality. I swear it is. I swear it is. I swear it's a delusional mentality, y'all. These women are batshit crazy. I'm sorry. What I don't understand for the life of me, what the hell? Too many reality shows, too many I don't know, fake TV, fake news, just too much of these damn fairy tales and stuff. What are y'all looking for? And you realize you're getting older and you're not finding it. Because it doesn't exist. You're looking for a perfect man who can look like Tupac, but have all the money in the world, cater to you like a fairy tale, buy you the glass damn slippers, and treat you like a princess. And at the same time, you could still be a 304. You could still go out with your friends every weekend and party it up with your girl, these girls trips. What the hell do y'all want? What you want is not, you're not getting it. You want a rich man. You want him to be loyal and faithful to you. You want him to marry you, do all this, be loving, support, all these. It's not happening. Look at Cam Newton. Cam can get any woman that he want. He don't have to commit to any of them. So you got these women, you knocking up him and what's his name? Y'all can get any woman y'all want. These men aren't gonna marry any of these women. He gonna do what he want, make babies in the name of Jesus, and make these babies and do what he want. He's not committing to any of us. So y'all gonna have to settle. So you're gonna go with a man just because he got money, knowing he's never gonna marry you, never gonna commit to you, and you're gonna give him baby and have as many babies he want, and just play house until he's done with you, till you get tired of it, and then he gonna keep doing what he doing. So these women who say, oh, you act like you want a man with all this money, like that's the perfect thing and that's gonna be the best thing ever. No, it's not. You're still gonna be miserable. You're still gonna be unhappy. You're gonna still be complaining. So I mean, nothing, y'all. The way these women choose men or look for men is all wrong. You're looking for men for all the wrong reasons and all the wrong things, and they're not finding it. You're still not finding it. You're just still complaining while getting older, being single, lessening your chances of actually getting somebody. Because you're just going to keep on until you won't settle till you're 60, like Vivica and them. And then that's a wrap. Ain't nobody coming in, and they still have superficial high expectations at 60 years old. Vivica Fox still want men to take her shopping. He needs to take me shopping. Girl, haven't you shopped enough? Didn't you take yourself shopping? You act like you never been shopping. Goddamn. How much shopping y'all need? How many goddamn trips you need? It doesn't make any sense. It's like they're stuck on his wheel, just going in circles with the same thing. I need shopping. He needs to be able to make 6 figures. I need shopping. I need trips. He got to have his passport. Like, come on, y'all. What is going on? Y'all brain is stuck in a time warp. You can't see past that? It's sad, but it's the state of all these old broads are the same. They're no different. I remember shout out to Thon Lexi. Shout out to Thon. Thon said this I screamed laughing when he did this. He did a short a while back. He did a short of this excuse me, y'all. He did a short of this video of these women just talking about shopping, every last one of them. Just he did like a little short compilation of women. I need to go shopping. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? There's a mental block that can't be released. They stuck on stupid. God forgive me. You stuck on stupidity. He needs to take me shopping. He needs to pay my bills. I heard Lisa Ray say that too. Oh, I need a man to come in and pay. Why, girl? Haven't you been successful enough? I thought the whole goal was for you to be successful so that you can pay your own bills because you don't need a man. So did the Players Club and all them jobs didn't pay good? All the jobs you had and movies, you still need a man to come in and pay your bills and take you shopping and take you on trips? I thought that was the whole point of y'all being able to do that for yourself because you don't need a man. So you mean to tell me all these years of working, you can't take yourself shopping? You still depending on a man to do it? You still depending on a man to pay your bills? At what point, like what happened to all the money y'all made? Y'all these independent boss chicks, I don't need a man. I can take care of myself. Okay, well, keep that same energy. Why y'all at 60 still looking for a man to pay your bills? It's beyond me. I don't get it. If you're that old and you still need somebody to pay your bills, take you shopping, your career was a waste of goddamn time. It was a waste of time because it didn't really benefit you. If you still 60 and you need somebody to pay your bills, take you shopping, you can't afford to do yourself. That's a major problem. I thought that's why y'all was working. Successful MD says there's a reason why gambling is not good for you. I know that's right, Successful MD. I know that's right. Thank you once again for the super chat. Shit. Child, it's just a mess. It really is. I don't understand. It's an addiction. It's an addiction for shopping and trips, girls' trips. Classic Perspective says, look what happened to Judge Mathis after 40 years. But he admitted on TMZ he worked so hard that his wife felt neglected. He's fighting to get her back. I'm going to address that. I saw that too, Classy. I saw that too. He did admit that, look, his wife needs his time. Thank you once again, Classy, for the super chat. I wanted to ask you, I'm going to do a video on that because my thing is this, and I understand, listen, the men got to work. Judge Mathis his wife is 60 something. He has to be in his 60s. We don't know what their agreements were. We don't know what they talked about. He's been working his whole life. And maybe the agreement was, look, once you get established to a certain point, then now we can sit back and we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. Because after all, I mean, you got to think about it. If he had his wife, he was with all these years, so clearly he loves her and they love each other. But was it a turning point where she said, "Look, hold up, I want to be with you. I want us to do things together." Is that it? I don't know. I'm just assuming. Like maybe there was an agreement that, because for him to say talk the way he's talking, I saw it. He's like, "Look, don't do this. You know, your wife needs attention." He said she comes third at that age. So my thing is, you spend your whole life working, right? Building yourself up. At what point do you sit down and enjoy the family that you created? Their kids are grown. So it's just them two. So I guess I could see from a woman's perspective how she could feel being neglected, because that is your husband. Shit, some of these women don't even care to be with the man. They don't even care to be around him. They just want to go and party and be outside. But if this is the case, and we don't really know, but if she just wants his time and want to spend time with him, I could understand that at this point, because it's like y'all been working. Y'all should have established yourselves at this point. You could have some time for your wife, because otherwise, what's the point of building a family and having a wife if you don't ever want to spend time with her? You know, and he was saying too, it was allegations of him cheating, and he's like, "No, I'm always traveling. I look like I'm having fun, and I'm doing this, and I don't have no time for her while she's just sitting at the house." I mean, you got to give her some with that. You got to give her some too. If it's all about her wanting time with her man after all these years of working hard to establish yourself, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with that, and he should be happy that he has a wife who wants to be in his company and be with him. That's what men are looking for. You want companionship. What's the sense of being married all these years and then your man is nowhere to be found, and you just sitting here like you by yourself? So if that's really what it is, she just want his attention and time, I'm pretty sure he could take some time out of his work schedule to spend time with his wife and be with her, you know, if that's the case. And I will say this too, because I think a lot of times with women, you want the man's time, but you also want an extravagant lifestyle. Now, once again, I don't know their situation, so I can't fully speak on it in depth because I don't know what their agreement was, what was really going on. But just from his response, I can go off of that. A lot of times women want their husbands around them and want to be there with them, but at the same time, you're spending a lot of money. So I will suggest to any woman, if you want your man home, and of course you want to have time with your husband and your family, that's what it's all about. But you cannot overspend. You cannot be so materialistic to where if you want him to cut back on work to spend more time with you, then you're going to have to cut back on the spending, because you can't have it both ways. You're going to have to spend less money to have him home, because after all, he's going out to work and has to continue to work because he's trying to still pay for your lifestyle, your livelihood, and all of that. So if you want more time with him, cut back on the spending so he don't feel the need to have to work as hard, because you constantly want stuff. So that would be my advice to that. If you want him home, and if it's a spending thing, stop trying to shop and buy all these things, because the reason why the man out there is probably still working because he got so many bills he got to pay. He has responsibilities. So that's how I see that. Because a man who's home and you know and can spend that quality time with you more often, he's not going to be working as much. And if y'all can budget with him cutting back on work, and you could do that and not be so materialist, I think that would be, if that's what you want, I think that's very reasonable, and I think that is very possible to do. But if you want more and more and more shit, then he got to keep working. Shit, at 60 something years old, he gonna have to keep working to afford that lifestyle that you created. So that's all I would say on that, because I don't really know all the details. But I did see him talking on that. Yeah, but he said he's gonna fight to get his wife back. Successful MD says, DeeDee, honestly, I don't believe a gender war exists. It's really self-sabotage. Men are not being combative. Productive men actually see reality and are not accepting nonsense. Men adjusted. Exactly. Yeah, I think so. You know, it all boils down to your choices. It boils down to what it is that you want. Being realistic, being logical about things, looking at things for what they actually are. That's why I think this delusional mindset is not helpful. Thank you once again for the super chat, Successful MD. People say, they say gender war because it seems like a war against men versus women, but it's just that a lot of women don't know how or don't want to cooperate. Society has made them think that they're better than men and that they should be requesting more from men and that they deserve more from men without wanting to ever put anything in. This is why you see so many women who don't believe they have flaws. They don't see themselves. You don't see where you need to make an improvement. So this is why they don't believe that they have to improve or cooperate with a man, because it's always been thought of when they think about men protecting and providing, it means a man is supposed to just come and provide 100% of the time. That women don't actually have to contribute anything because women are the prize and women are special and men owe them something. This is why they say, I feel I deserve this and that, because you think that a man just off the rip owes you 100% of his finances, his everything. And you could just have a vagina. See, they think vagina is the top priority for men. They think that men are basically consumed by vagina. So because you have a vagina, you think that's the top priority for men. You don't have to bring anything else to the table. That's why I always say that women think that everything's since sliced bread because they have a vagina. No, and men are clearly stating, I don't care about that vagina, because guess what? It's not only for me, and it hasn't been. You've already been slang it all over. It's been ran through. So this is not top vagina. This is not prize vagina. So they don't want it. Now, some men will go in there if you let them and get a piece of that and keep it moving, but they know this is not what I want to be my wife, because there's nothing special about this. So this is why women hate that body count. They don't like that to talk about body count. They don't like to talk about none of that. Being, single mothers 3-4 times over. They don't like to talk about that because men don't want that. So if a man knows that you've been ran through, he might be one of the rotating ones to run through. I don't condone that, but I mean, it's just the reality of what it is. But he's not taking you seriously, and that's what they don't like. So they don't like, because they think that vagina weighs heavily on a man's thoughts and how he moves. And some men, it does work, but at the same time, those men don't take you seriously. It's like the Pookies and Ray Ray. They running through you, giving you babies, but they're not with you, and they're not committing to you. That's not making them become loyal men and committed men to you. No, they're just doing what most men would do, because they don't see you as the prize. They don't see you as anything special. And women crave attention and want to feel special. That's the thing. They want to feel special. They want to feel like a man is really into them. They want to feel that, but they're not getting it because you are not that girl. You think you are, but you're really not. And they don't realize, they don't tie this body count and all this 304 behavior to that. They think that that's okay, and men shouldn't look at them in that way. They should look at them as a pride, but you can only think how you want to think and feel how you want to feel. You can't control what men think, what they want, how they feel. You can't control other people. You can only control yourself. So you saying that a men should see single mothers as important. They don't. You could say that all you want. They don't have to. And I think that's what they mad about. Let's continue this video, y'all.
Man wouldn't have fed me bullshit and lies and excuses on why he couldn't be there or why he can't show up. He would have made a way. And it's like, I just say all of this to say, like, you really don't know what you got until it's gone. And you really don't know the value of things until it's gone. And I'm not even trying to bash my baby father or anything like that or speak down on him, but it's like, if I had known better at the time and I wasn't so young, dumb, and full of cum, I wouldn't have did that. If I had known better, I would have done better. And every day I'm working towards trying to forgive myself for that, because he didn't deserve that. And women make mistakes too. It really ain't all the men that out here that be cheating and lying and doing stuff like that. Like, women have babies on men too, and I'm sadly one of them. But I love my kids with everything in me. And I wouldn't trade them for nothing in the world. But I just wished I would have picked a better father for them.
Girl. Well, at least she has some type of accountability. At least she's owning up to some of it, because some of them don't even want to do that. Chris Davis, thank you for the super chat. Says my wife complains about me being at work. Then when we go to dinner, and she orders the most expensive item. See, Chris, listen, I've been through this too in my marriage. Like, look, in the beginning, I used to complain about my husband going to work so much. He would go to work. Then there were times where he was supposed to be off, and then they called him into work, and I didn't like it. We could be in the middle of, had the kids at the park, and then they called him in and he got to go to work. And I'm just like, this is frustrating. I complained too. I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it's too much. Why you got to go to work so much? Because he working because he got a family to take care of. Thank you once again for the super chat, Chris. I did it too. I complained too. But I had to realize, look, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want him to make less money and y'all just kind of budget around it, or what? Because most men they got to go to work. And if you got a family, you got to go to work. So they know they got to get out and work. And as much as they're hearing me, it's not like he's not listening. He's hearing me, but he know he got to work. Because if he stay home and then he don't have no money, then that's going to be a complaint too. Then you can complain about, well, you don't make enough money. We need this. We need that. So you got to understand that's he's doing his job. That's what he's supposed to do. And he wants to do it. You can't complain to the man. Let them go to work. Let them do what they have to do. But my suggestion also is, look, that's what I say. Do you want the things that you have? Do you, this? I don't push the whole unrealistic, superficial lifestyle, because that is not worth it. But I mean, still, there are certain things you don't have to be overly expensive or superficial, but there's still things you want to do. You might want to take. Y'all have a yearly trips that you take or something, or are you plan to do this, or you want to do that with the kids, or you want to travel? Like with us, we have a big family, so it always costs a lot for us to travel. So we going somewhere, it's always going to cost a lot. So money don't grow on trees. Goddamn, people think money grow on trees. Money don't grow on trees. You got to work for it, right? So if you're taking a trip and it's going to cost a lot, he got to work. Hell, are y'all working together? Both of y'all working, or whatever your situation is. You got to work. You got to budget. You got to plan stuff. You got to plan it out. You got to budget it. You work towards it, and then you do it. You don't just jump up willy-nilly, spending a whole bunch of money just randomly like money grow on trees. No, you got to work. Even people with money budget. They budget and they plan. This is why I don't understand people who are broke. Oh, well, I don't want to budget. I've heard women say this. I don't want to budget. I don't play. Are you serious? So you just want to blow everything that you work hard for? People with money understand budgets. They have budgets. They have a certain amount of money that they spend on certain things. They have certain times of the year when they spend their money. But people who don't have, a lot of these women who talk, they've never had any kind of money in their life, so they don't understand that. They don't understand. You just think just spend. No. So you gotta understand. Yeah, if you want your man home more, then you gotta understand that y'all gonna have to budget some things. You're not gonna just be able to spend willy-nilly if that's what you've been doing. You shouldn't be doing it anyway, but I'm just saying, if he's okay with you spending, but he got to work for you to do that, honey. They just think the money just come out the thin blue sky, child. No, it does not. That man got to work for all that shit. All this stuff, these things these people want, them men got to work for that. Yeah. Chris Davis says, exactly. Thank you once again for the super chat. Successful Family says, I need the expedited application for Pookie. Thank you, Successful MD. A mess. Yeah. I just, that's why it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, I understand. Look, that child, everything that these men are spending on these women, all these dates, all this stuff, it's money. They like, oh, just spend money on me. Just spend money on me. I need a man to spend money, but like he ain't got to work for that. Y'all just sitting around begging and expecting and feeling and all of this and needing And you don't think that these men got to work for that? That they spending money, they got to replace that because they're not trying to go broke. So they got to work 10 times harder to replace the money they just spent on you. What y'all think this is? Y'all think money just come out their back? They just take a deep breath and spew out money to give to you to play off? Hell no. It takes a lot to work for what these people got. Just like these women. And see, they realize it because they out here working. That's why they don't want to spend their money, child. They're like, hell to the no. I got to work too damn hard. I don't want to spend my money. You realize what it costs and realize how hard you work. So that's why you don't want to spend your money. You're trying to convince these men that they're supposed to come and pay all your bills because you don't want to spend your money because you know it takes a lot for you to make that money. But why don't you understand with men? It's no different. These men got to work extra hard and you just want them to just spend it all on you? No, keep working. That's what you wanted. Keep working and spend your own goddamn money. These men don't need to spend their money on you. And you're not even talking about a wife and his family. You're talking about just dating, child. No, baby, you going to pay. If you want that steak and lobsters and all that seafood that they be slurping up on these videos, baby, you going to go pay for that for pay for it yourself. You can do it all by yourself. Go ahead and do it all by yourself, child. I don't think the men complaining. Go do it by yourself like you want it. You got it. Because I don't think men should be out here doing that anyway. Hell. It's a hot mess. Let's move on. I have another clip for you guys.
Love is a fight. You know, you make up in your mind that this is what I want. And even when you get on my nerves, I'm staying right here. I'm not going anywhere because I made a commitment. And I believe that I married the right person. And I'm not married just for me. I'm married for legacy. That's how I think. I think in terms of team, in terms of when I'm gone, what is this love going to say to the world? What will my children say about our love after this? So it's not very, I'm mad, I'm leaving. It's so much more involved. Even when we went through our stuff, I was like, we got too much. This is too much to separate. Music, kids, marriage, ministry. There's so many things. And I was like, am I selfish and say just me and I'm gonna leave? Or do I say, how do we get past this and get to forever?
Do y'all agree or disagree with what she's saying? Do y'all agree with what she's saying? That's Erica Campbell. She said, love is a fight. You know, but basically you got to work on it. You got to work on it. You got to work on your relationship. You got to work together. Even when it looks bad, you got to work on it because you made a commitment to each other to work on it, right? It's not just, oh, I just want to get married and that's it. No, once you married, that's when the work starts. I say that all the time. It's work. And the commitment that you made to one another is you made the commitment to put in the work. Anything that's worth something, it's going to take you to work on it or work at it. You don't just, anything you want, you work towards it. You work to get it and you work to maintain it. You work to keep it. You don't get a brand new car and just throw that. What some people do. You don't get a car you've been wanting for years, right? You saved up for that car. Then when you get the car, okay, you work so hard, saved all your money, you got it. It's lovely. You like it. You love it. You've been wanting it since you was a kid. Now you finally was able to get it. Now you got it. What you do? Sit it there, let it get all dusty and dirty. Don't clean it. Don't take care. Don't get the oil change. Don't do nothing. You just let it rot. Is that what you're supposed? Some people do that, but that's not what because you worked all them years to get something that you love just to toss it to the side and not give a shit about it. No, you're going to put time into it. You're going to put effort into it. You're going to make sure it look good. You're going to make sure under the hood it's good. You're going to maintain it. That's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do, in my opinion. Because if you don't take care of it, then what's going to happen? It's going to fall apart. It's not going to work as good. And then eventually it's going to die. You can't do anything with it. But it was so important to you to get, and you spend all that time wanting and getting it and working towards it. Now you got it. Now you still got to work on it. You can't just leave it just sitting there. Same thing goes for relationships. You don't work to get it, and then when you get it, you act like you don't have it. You still got to work to maintain it. And that's just not for men to do. That's when it comes to relationships, that's for both parties. That's what y'all made a commitment and an agreement for. That's what it's for. For better or worse, sickness and health, to death do you part, because they understood, whoever came up with the vows understood that it's going to be some hard times. There's going to be some challenges. Life is a challenge. Things are going to be challenging. Everything is not a cakewalk, but it's designed to make you stronger. So you go through something, you come out on the other side, you come out with more information. You can do better because you know better based on that experience. You learn something from it. That's what you're supposed to do, in my opinion. Learn from your mistakes so that you can do better the next time. At least you won't make that same mistake. Not saying you won't make other mistakes, but you won't make that one because you learned a lesson from it. You came out of it. Now you know, hey, not to go that way anymore. I'm going to go this way because that way got me into trouble. So I'm not going to go that way. Seems simple enough, but a lot of people don't get it. So anything that's worth having is worth maintaining and taking care of it. Successful MD says, why ask when they say we are broke? Right. Right. And so that's why I think men are just ignoring it. They're not paying attention to these women. They're like, okay, y'all said we dust as we broke or whatever. Stop checking for us. Because we stopped checking for y'all. That's what I think a lot of men are saying. We ain't checking for you. We don't even want to look your way because you already told us what we are without even knowing us. You've already labeled us and we're not for it. So we just going to move on another way, another direction. Thank you, Successful MD. Successful MD also says selfish people make things hard. That is true. That is 100% true. They do. Thank you, Successful MD. They do. They make it hard. Delusional people make it hard because you only see what you want. You don't see the bigger picture. You don't know how to compromise. You don't know how to work with anybody. Usually people who are selfish, they're selfish in every areas of their lives. They just want what they want, and either they're used to getting their way or they just think that they deserve their way. And they're just gonna, they make any simple situations can be complicated when people are selfish or when they just only want what they want. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about what you want. They don't care about anything but themselves. And that's not conducive to a healthy, stable relationship. It's not. Love is 1 + 1 = 1. When you love someone, you disappear. Eric 300 Blackout says, DeeDee, you are among the few women who have gotten the ball of consideration rolling for women to think about regarding this subject matter. Great job. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you once again. I appreciate that. Well, hopefully I hope it's helping and giving them something else to think about besides this unrealistic, independent, single woman, boss chick mindset, because that is not where it's at. I promise you. There's nothing wrong with you, taking care of yourself, because as adults, we're supposed to, but just thinking, oh, I don't need a man, I can do it all by myself. It's hurting them. We're starting to see it. It's hurting them. They go out, I played the video yesterday of them complaining about owning homes and the work that goes into it. Cause you just thought, oh, the key is to just get the home. No, you didn't think about maintaining it. Like I just said, you didn't think about the upkeep. You didn't think about, long-term. You think about, I just got to get the house and that's it. The house is not going to stay new forever. You know that things are going to happen, just like in life, just like in relationships. Things are going to occur. You don't know what they are, but you're committed to that person that no matter what we go through, we're going to come out on the other side of it. That's what commitment is all about. Knowing that you have somebody there that you are committed to and y'all committed to each other. Y'all are loyal to each other. Y'all love each other. The commitment, the marriage is that we're going to fight through whatever issues that come up because we're committed to each other for real. Not this play stuff, that we are in it to win it to the end. That's the commitment. But a lot of these people don't want to do that. You don't want to be committed to one person. You want to go out and have fun. You want to come out. You want to ride all the CCs. That's fun to these women. You want to try different sizes. All that's what's important to these women. I saw that. I cringe when I hear those types of stories. It's just cringeworthy. Like, this is at the top of the minds of these modern women. The top of your mind is go out and try all these different sizes and and just screwing and sucking and just doing all kind of stuff with whoever, and that's at the top of your head, and that's all you care about at 45? At any age, but they're not growing. You're stuck in this mind warp of stupidity. Like, this is what you thinking about. That's all everybody care about is sex, sex, sex. That's it. You don't think about nothing else. That's all they care about. You don't think about your future. You don't think about your kids' future. You don't think about nothing. That's all you care about. Him having a lot of money and, oh, it's the sex good. That's it. That's all y'all care about. All they cared about, you don't even, your vaginas are out here swollen and the pH balance are off, and you're out here and that's all you stick because you're using it too much on all these different sizes, and you're just walking around here just BBL, smelling bad, and just talking about sex, and you got to have the right size and money. Like, that's all y'all have nothing else that you care about in life. That's the only thing that seems to matter. That's all I see. There's nothing else that matters. That's all you about. And Lord, women talk, these women, not all women, talk about men objectifying them. All you talk about is sex and sizes and money. You objectify yourselves, thinking that all a man cares about is that. And that's all you have to offer. You don't have anything else to offer but vagina. Ran through vagina. And you think that men should be running behind you for that? No, man. I just really want women to wake up. That ain't where is that, boo. You're just making yourself look crazy. Exactly. Why they wait outside of athletes' hotels, child, to give them that ran through vagina. Thank you for the super chats. Child, that's what you're doing. That's what you lead with. You don't, and going to school and all this ain't teaching y'all jack shit. You ain't learning nothing. All you think is, I'm gonna get this BBL and I'm gonna look good to him. He gonna want this, and then what? Then that's it. He get it, and that's it. Then he done with you. Thank you, Successful MD, once again. Like, come on. Make it make sense. Like, haven't y'all realized that yet? Ray says, it's the rap music effing their minds up. Pay attention. Use box. We knew something was fishy. Oh my God. Having that car for a nice job, you need it. Yeah, it's just a disproportionate BBL. Right. It's just that it needs to be something more than that. That's it. It is not a good look. It's really not. Let's continue.
People often lack the ability to communicate without comparison. Yes. It's hard to say, I like this. Mm-hmm. And it's also hard for people to digest without comparison. Mm-hmm. So to see someone champion something that they want in such a precise and certain way, it gets hard for some people to understand that ain't got to do with me. Ooh. That man can like all the fat in the world, and that has absolutely nothing to do with me, because it has everything to do with him. It doesn't matter how he champions that. That nigga don't know me, so he can't be talking about me, even if he is on someone. Bruh, people get imaginary shit on this podcast all the fucking time. Yeah, you got a villain, he got a villain woman, y'all got villain, and I got villain people too. We all demonize because it's hard to communicate without comparison. I agree. But it's like, bruh, again, what Randy saying, what I said, if you want to eliminate that comparison, just sit with yourself. Stop comparing your standards to your homegirls.
What do y'all think about what he's saying? Basically, what I get from what he's saying is, you got to stop comparing yourself to others. You know, if somebody else has either an opinion or whatever, or they have a stance, or they have something that they like or that they believe in, you don't have to agree with them, but don't compare your situation, especially when you have, another perspective on what that person likes or is into or believes. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what he's saying. Don't compare somebody else's standards to yours. If somebody likes big women with BBLs, that's them. You don't like it, so that has nothing to do with you. If that person like big women with BBLs, that's what they like. If you don't like that, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to, I guess compare your standards or with what that person likes. If they like it, that has nothing to do with you. You like what you like. I guess that's what he's saying. Let's see. One who is unaware of the truth must look to illusions. The Negro always finds a way to say the right things can't be trusted. Yeah, so I guess I see what he's saying. You know, I think when people don't agree, they have a problem. I think that, I mean, I will say that, like, sometimes, like, things that I say, there are a lot of people who don't agree with it, and that's fine. It's not meant for everybody to agree or accept. But I think the people who don't like the message, the same way I saw it with Kevin Samuels, they didn't like his message, so they didn't like him. First they try to say, oh, it's his delivery, but what he's saying is true, but y'all don't like the delivery. So you still don't like him, though. So it wasn't just the delivery. It was the fact that you didn't like the message that he was saying in general. So you hated the man for real because you knew it touched the nerve. That's how I see it. If somebody is saying something that I don't agree with, that's fine with me. I'm not going to argue with you. You know, I want you to hear my perspective, but if you just don't agree and you have your own perspective, I can respect that, because I'm not going to try to argue with you. My perspective is mine. How I come to what I think and what I believe is for me. How you come to what you believe and what you think and what you feel is based on your experiences and you. So I can't be mad at you having a certain opinion based on your experiences, because my experience is different from yours. So I'm not going to disrespect you or hate on you for that. Your perspective, what you believe, what you think is yours, and mine is mine. We don't have to see eye to eye on everything. We don't have to agree on everything, but I can respect where you're coming from. Even if I don't agree with it, I can respect it. But what I find often is that people don't respect other people's opinions and what they feel and their experiences, but you want somebody to take what you're saying for face value and just go with it. No, I can't do that if I don't agree with what you're saying, but I can respect what you're saying and keep it moving. You know what I mean? So I just think that's what at least you got to have mutual respect for others and their opinions. We don't have to agree and they don't have to match, because we don't have the same lifestyle. We don't have the same upbringing. We don't have any of that in, the same, but I can respect where you're coming from. I don't have to agree, so I think people clash and get mad only because it hits a nerve. I think people get mad of your opinions and the things you say because they don't like it, because it's pointing to them. And and it's interesting. That's why they say hit dogs holler, right? Hit dog holler, because what a person is saying, a person that you don't know, you've never met, you don't know them at all, having an opinion on their thoughts, it's their opinion. People get pissed and mad because it's you talking to them without even knowing it, and they expose themselves when they come out with their negative negative responses. So this is how I know if there are women who don't like what I'm saying, they expose themselves because they have a negative response. I'm not, if it don't fit you, why would you respond to it? That's the hit dog that's hollering, because you feel some type of way from what I'm saying, because it's a direct reflection of you, and I don't know you. You see what I'm saying? I don't know you. I don't know your name. I didn't call your name out. I don't know you. So I'm really not talking to you, but you let me know that I'm talking to you by your response. Get it? So this is where the hit dog hollers come out, because I don't know you. So it's not a personal attack. It's just my opinion. But if the opinion fits, that's how we know who it fit, because they usually the ones come out with negative responses. So I know it's something you don't like, and you got to go work on your trauma, because if somebody that doesn't know you, who has their own random opinions, can affect you deeply enough to where you could start shaming people or start trying to say negative things in response, we know that you have some trauma you haven't worked on, and you need therapy, baby. I always say, if it don't apply, let it fly. If it's not applying to you, let it fly. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking from a general perspective or from my own experiences. And if you don't like it, then that means it's something within you need working on. You need therapy. Successful MD says, DeeDee, a lot of these podcasts change and switch up based on the number of subscribers and money. I've seen that. You have stayed consistent and you respect others' opinion. This shows how grifting works indirectly. Exactly. And I've seen it. And that's their choice to do that. Look, I ain't got nothing to do with how they choose to run their stuff. It is what it is, but I definitely have seen it. Successful MD definitely has seen it. But once again, that's their business. If that's what they want to do and how they run their stuff, I don't have nothing to do with that. I try to the fullest to stick to what I believe, what I think, and that's that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to start bashing men all of a sudden so I could get more subscribers. I can't do it. I don't know. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't do it. That's not in me to do, And once again, it's not like, I don't hate women, which a lot of women, that's how I know those are the hit dogs that holler. Thank you once again for the super chat, Successful MD, because they like to say, oh, you're bashing women. No, I'm not bashing women. I'm giving my experience and it's just my opinion. You either like it or you don't. You either agree with it or you don't. I don't give a damn, honestly, because I'm still going to say what I think, because I have a right to my opinion and how I feel and what I think. Just like the people who bash men and talk all this stuff about men, y'all have a right to say what y'all want to say. You have a right based on your experiences and your opinion. It's fine. You say what you want. I'm going to say what I want. I don't know you. I'm not calling your name. I don't know you from Adam. So I'm not talking to you. But if you feel that I'm talking to you, then that means you got issues. You got issues, because I don't care what nobody else say. Look, you don't know me. I give you a little perspective and a little bit of my life so that it can help somebody, to show you a different outcome, that every situation is not the same and every man is not the same. Every woman is not the same. We all are works in progress, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. If you don't think that's totally fine. I'm fine with your perspective, because you have a right to your perspective. I don't take none of this stuff personally. I don't have an issue with other podcasts or people whatsoever. I don't know these people. So I argue with people that I know. I'm not going to argue with strangers. I don't know nothing about you. So how could I don't take it personal is what I'm saying. I just like people to know that I don't care. I get along with anybody, and I'm cordial to everybody, because I don't know. There's no, that's why I could never be arguing and fighting on social media, because I don't know these folks, I don't know. I argue with people I know. That's the only people I've had arguments with, are the people that I know closely. We have a disagreement. We're going to talk about it because we need to get to the bottom of it. I ain't got that kind of time for strangers. Hell to the no. Hell no. I don't have time for that. It don't make any sense to me. Nah, I don't argue with people I don't know. I don't have a history with you. I don't know shit about you. What I'm be arguing? I don't know you. So what's the point? No. So yeah, that's how the people who need therapy, because they respond to strangers that they don't know off of a person's opinion. No, this is just my opinion, my perspective. You can have your perspective, your opinions, and I'm fine with that. It's because it's just your opinion, baby. You could take it or leave it, and I tend to leave it. I don't really delve into all of that. I talk about what I think, give my perspective, whatever it is. You don't have to agree with it. Everybody don't have to agree with everything and hang on to your every word. I don't think that's how it should be. But that's why I like people who have a difference of opinion. I really do, because you have your own mind. You use your own logic in your own mind. I respect that. You don't have to be everything, we don't have to have everything lined up and agree on everything. Hell no, that's unrealistic. I like to hear other people's perspectives, because you learn stuff like that. You get to hear other people's experiences. You get to hear where they're coming from, something that I may have never heard before. I'm open to hearing other people's thoughts and why you think the way you think. My thoughts are from my experiences and what I see. Your experiences are maybe totally different. So you have a totally different outcome or perspective. I like to hear that, because sometimes you can't be caught up in your own reasoning. You got to be open to hearing what other people have to say and where they're coming from. Even if if it don't align with my message or what I'm coming from, I still am open to hearing other people's perspectives. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important that we do that. And a lot of people need to learn how to do that without it being chaotic and without it being an argument, without it being, a problem. You got to understand, you don't know these people. So let them, that's why I liked doing the panel, because I wanted to hear other men talk about, hear a different voice, a different perspective of guys coming from their experiences. But it's hard to do that when people have a lot of emotion attached to it, or they're still, still dealing with those issues, because it turns chaotic. And that part I didn't really like, whether, even though it could have been, it was entertaining to some, it's just become chaotic, and the message gets lost, because you can't really, we need to learn how, and this is how a lot of relationships are. People have unhealed trauma, and they're bringing it out in their conversations. They're exposing it in the way they communicate, but I think we got to learn how to communicate with each other and get our thoughts and our message out or whatever without it being toxic. Be able to say, agree to disagree and keep it moving. It don't have to be trying to make it seem like it's somebody trying to convince the other one to believe, because you're never going to convince other people to believe exactly the way you believe, or see things exactly the way you see, because y'all experiences are different. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm definitely always open to other people's perspectives. If I don't agree with something you're saying, if it's something straight up, I'm not going to sit here and fake like I agree. I'm going to say, no, I don't agree. But don't try to convince me to agree. Just like I'm not going to try to convince you to agree. If you can take something or benefit from something I'm saying and try it and use it, so be it. I think that's the whole point. If there's something that you can take away from what I'm saying and learn and apply it to your life and benefit from it, that's the goal. But if not, oh well, keep it moving. I'm still going to believe the way I believe and talk about what I want to talk about. That's it. Just like you can do the same thing. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't focus on, I listen to or follow certain people that I like their perspective. Crimson Cure is one of them. I love her message. I love the way she displays her message. I like where she's coming from. I support the things that she talks about. I can relate to the things that she speaks on. And I think she says it in a very, a way that I think people can relate to, and they can learn from it and actually apply it. I think she gives good information that people can actually apply and use. So I like where she comes from. I like what she says. And I gravitated to her when I got in this space, because she says things that I think are true and that people can actually, you can take away something from it. You know what I mean? And you can actually apply it. So that's why I like what she says and how she says it and everything. And I think she's very, what she puts out can be very beneficial to a lot of young women who just have no direction and don't know where they're going and trying to do better and trying to get somewhere. So I think she's very necessary in this space. She's one of the first that I gravitated to, one of them. And I think she's very necessary, and I love what she does and how she conveys it. So yeah, and so that's just how it is. I see, look, there are other channels that I watch that I don't agree with them at all. But then there are certain things that they'll say that make sense. So everybody has something that we agree on or disagree on, but there's still some truth to some of the stuff that they say, So yeah, it's just what it is. You take you take the meat out of it and you leave the bones. You take the meat and how they say it, take the meat out of the bulk of what makes sense to you or what you can take away with and leave the rest. Successful MD says all conversations are not meant for debate. Exactly. That's true. Thank you, Successful MD. That is absolutely true. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and be debating with people back and forth over what? No, I'm never doing that. Ms. DeeDee, can you name one disappointment you have in the actions of modern women? One disappointment. I mean, look, just the whole mindset, the whole mentality is just warped. The idea of how they think about men, that a man is a wallet, that's a disappointment. You look at a man solely for how much money he can spend on you, that is unrealistic. That is not what a man is. Yes, men are protectors and providers, but they're not just their wallets. So I think the idea that a lot of modern women look at men as just a wallet and that's all you look for is a disappointment within itself. The way, women say all black men are just horrible men, that's a major disappointment and red flag. That's not the representation of all black men. Superficial ideals, thinking that, of what a man is supposed to be and what he should be is all warped as well. That the whole idea of how modern women look at men in relationships is all messed up. All of that is a disappointment. It's not the way you look for successful relationships. So for women talking about, men supposed, all this stuff is just all out of order. It's all a hot mess, to be honest with you. Let's move on. I want to play this clip from this particular woman. She speaks a lot of truth. I don't know what her name is, but I do follow her on TikTok. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Y'all listen to what she's saying. Hit the like button, you guys. Hit the like button.
Caucasian men value relationships and marriages more than black men. Let's talk about it. First of all, you dead wrong, because you took Lauren Speed and their picture from her husband's birthday of her acknowledging her loving, caring person, and you made it into your own narrative as a black woman so that you can paint this narrative as a black woman and get this crazy conversation going to the point where she had to tell you to take it down because it had over 3 million views. But then you turn around and say, well, I got the views, and so that's all that let me know right there. That's all you care about. Let's talk about it, because I'm so tired of you bitter women. You women are so bitter because of the men that y'all choose. Color has nothing to do with it. If that lady found love outside of a black man, then just be happy for her that she found love outside of a black man. I watched the episode when they first fell in love before even seeing each other. So color had nothing to do with it. But let's talk about how the fact y'all keep talking about how Caucasian men value marriage more than black men. First of all, I'm not going to touch bases on the racism part of it, because I could care less what color somebody is. As long as they got a good spirit, a good heart, and they treat you good, that's good enough. Let's talk about the women who want to keep their little black sons away from their black dads, and then turn around and say that black men don't value relationships, don't value love, don't value marriages. Baby, you won't even let that man come get his son. So here it is, you thinking, you know how many posts I've seen this year alone that said, my son don't need no dad, my baby don't need no dad. What, Jada's sister, you just sat up there and had a baby by the 600 greasy dude and just sat there and said full blown, oh, my baby don't need no dad. So when y'all black women that's carrying these black little boys turn around and say things like, oh, well, my baby don't need no dad, what type of man you think you raising? You raising the same type of man that you up there talking about. When y'all keep getting up there talking about how black men don't do this and black men don't do that, but y'all want to make yourselves single moms on purpose. Y'all keep trying to make everybody think that being a single mom is what it is. Y'all sitting there birthing these kids, don't really got the time, don't really got the patience. So if this little black boy is being raised by a single mom and his dad is not around, where is he supposed to learn how to be a father? Where is he supposed to learn how to be a loving man? Where is he supposed to learn his characteristic traits as a man in general, his masculinity that y'all swear y'all love? Oh, we need a masculine man, but you're not even raising a masculine man because you're raising him on your own. I'm not saying that single moms can't do their thing with their sons, because they can, but why are y'all sitting there? Y'all are full blown saying that y'all don't want y'all kids to have black fathers, but then turn around and complain about there's no good black men? We are so quick to keep trying to keep this division amongst the black men and the black women. Y'all want to keep trying to put us against each other 24/7, but as black women, y'all don't realize where y'all go wrong. You do realize that you are the one that's birthing the black son to begin with. And then before y'all say, oh, but the dads don't want to be dads, I don't got nothing to do with that. I'm strictly speaking on where we go wrong as women, because a lot of y'all get mad, y'all get in y'all feelings, y'all get in y'all emotions when y'all see that the man don't want to be with y'all. Or let's talk about the fact that the man said he didn't want the kid to begin with, and then y'all say stuff like, well, don't be there then. I'm gonna raise my son. But then when you raise that little boy is sitting around trying to figure out, well, where my dad at? Why wasn't I good enough? Why am I not loved? So he grows up with his own emotional issues, his own detachment issues, which grows into a grown man who now is dating, and now he has no attachment to women, or now he knows how not to treat a woman because he never seen it firsthand thanks to you. So when y'all get done talking about how a black man not in the house, how he don't value this, how he don't value that, y'all are raising the same black men that y'all talking about, and y'all not even valuing the relationship that him and his dad could possibly have. It's not about money, it's about the time spent. Well, he don't buy him nothing, he don't have to. It's a lot of things that my dad did when I was growing up that I didn't approve of, but I took time to ask my my dad questions about his childhood, his upbringing, his mom, his dad. I ask my dad every question you can think of so I can get an understanding of who my dad is, where my dad came from.
Let me stop for a second. Listen, she's cooking, and she's no lies detected. No lies detected. She's telling the truth. These women complain about the same. They complain about men, but they think that they could be the man and the woman raising a child. They think that they could be the man, the mama, and the daddy. So you complain about these men, but who raised them? The majority of single women raised them, and you're repeating the cycle. You're a single mother raising these sons, and you don't know what you're doing. And you want something to complain about to constantly look like the victim. That's what they're doing. They want to be in a perpetual state of victimhood. You want to be the victims all the damn time. You always want to blame it on the men, but you don't put yourself in a position to have the man in your life to raise his son. A lot of these women do want to keep the children away from the fathers because they hate that they have a better relationship than you do. Women love to complain about things that they don't want to change. You don't want to make any differences or make better choices. You just want to complain. And people are tired of this shit. Men are tired of it. Everybody's tired of hearing your complaints when you don't want to make any changes to do better. So people are tired of complaining. If you don't want no man and you want children, raise that damn child by yourself and shut the hell up. Stop complaining. Then that's the choice you made. We don't want to hear the aftermath of you complaining about something we already knew wasn't going to be a good idea. Everybody knows it's not a good idea to go out here and make babies by yourself on purpose. We know that's a disaster waiting to happen. That's a setup for failure. But they act like, oh no, I can do it. I don't care what you say. Then you go and do it, and now we don't want to hear the complaints because you should know better. There's enough people out here telling you that is not a good idea. And you still want to go do it, so don't complain. Just keep the complaints to yourself and keep it moving. Because nobody feels sorry anymore. Nobody, because there's enough information out here to know better. And if you don't want to do it, nobody's not feeling any sympathy towards that. Classic Perspective says, I have an update. I'm starting to see videos where U.S. women want passport bros to fly them and their kids out of the U.S. where the men are trying to leave them from. I know you lying. Classic Perspective. Really? So they want men to fly them out to other countries where they're going? For what? Are you serious? I know you lying. Are you serious? What in the world? Lord, no. Child, no. That's just, what? Fly them out for what though? Why aren't the men trying to get away from y'all? Now y'all want them to fly y'all out to with your kids? Baby, I know you lying. Oh my God. Thank you for the super chat, Classy. And that don't make no sense to me. Why would they do that? They're trying to get away from the hyenas. Now you want them to take you and your kids out of the country to do what? They're not checking. Don't make no sense.
Do everything that I want him to do? No. Is he the best dad on the planet? Yes, because I love him, but I'm pretty sure he could have did better. But I respect him for who he is, not for who I want him to be, not for what I think he should be, for who he is. Y'all got to stop trying to dictate what type of fathers y'all want y'all kids to have. You laid down with them, you had them. So if you don't agree with the type of father that the man is to your kid, then why did you lay down with him to give birth to the baby to begin with? Stop trying to form what you want them to have. Let them little boys be under their dads for whatever reason, because you can't teach him how to be a man. Can y'all sit up there and compare Caucasian men to black men when y'all know that Caucasian men are already raised to be that way? How can our sons and our black men be raised that way when y'all don't even want them to be spending time with their dad? I don't see too many Caucasian women telling they, you can't get Jimmy, you don't see that. This is a thing for y'all. Y'all actually make it y'all business to walk around and try to carry these kids to prove that you could be a single mom. I don't see the other side doing that. So when y'all get done trying to compare and contrast the sides, look at what they stem from. They stem from a family. They stem from them letting them be around their fathers to begin with, while you walking around making posts saying, oh, my son don't need a dad. Man, girl, make it make sense.
Girl, listen, she ain't lying. No lies detected. Like I said, it's a bunch of delusional baby mamas out here. Um, yeah, it's crazy. But like I said, it's a perpetual state of victimhood. They want to be victims constantly. You don't, you constantly want to be victims. You don't want to accept any accountability on your part. Like you're not a human being. Like you're not an adult. You know, you can excuse the behavior of children, but they want their behavior excused like a child. Sometimes children just do crazy stuff when they're young, but you, a grown adult, you want to be everything that you do, you want it excused, no accountability whatsoever, and constantly blame other people, but while constantly making the same bad choices over and over and over. At some point, that's gotta stop. You at some point, it's got to stop. This is crazy. I'm still trying to figure out, why would a man take a hyena and her kids overseas for what? What, y'all want to sit down and look stupid in a group? Why would a man do that? Why would men who are trying to run from you want to take you overseas with your kids? I'm still trying to understand how that's happening. And why? Why would men want to do that? It don't make no sense. U.S. women are requesting to come with me after I started traveling to other. What the hell? What in the world? Turn to your neighbor and say, at some point, it's got to stop, child. I know that's right. We in the Twilight Zone, y'all. We in the Twilight Zone. We really are. We in the damn Twilight Zone. It happened to me. Classic. What? I flew 6,000 miles to get away, and now they want y'all to take them and their children? For what? Is that gonna change your mind? So if you take her and the kids overseas, what y'all gonna look at them and stare at them and say, "Oh, we really want you." Why? Who? Huh? I just, that don't make sense, y'all. That don't make sense to me. Why wouldn't any man who's trying to get away want to now pay all this money for you and your kids to come do what? He don't want y'all. Why would they? I wish y'all could send me that video. Please, if y'all got the send me, I need to see this. Why would that make sense? So now American women are looking for men to fly them overseas or with their kids too, for what? What you're trying to prove? What? I don't understand. That don't make sense. It just doesn't make. It don't make sense. Anyway, let's move on to the last clip I have for you guys. I want to know your thoughts on this one. So, this is Trina Braxton from Braxton Family Values and her husband Vaughn. They're talking about, he's talking about how he felt when she was grieving over her ex-husband, Gabe. I don't know if you guys watched that show, but it's a Trina Braxton, he's talking about how he felt when her late ex-husband passed away. He did not like the fact of how she was grieving over him, which brings me to the question of, can a woman or anybody grieve their ex-husband, ex-lover, somebody that they've spent a lot of time with? Is it okay to grieve, that ex while you're in a new marriage or in a new relationship? So I want to pull this clip up. Let's look at it. Here we go.
You said that you felt that I punished you.
Yes. And then I said that Vaughn didn't realize that I loved him for real, and I loved him and I chose him.
You're putting words in my mouth.
No, I'm saying what I'm recapping.
Okay.
So now with that recap, what do you have to say?
Yeah, okay, first off, what you said was really jumbled.
So let me give a little context. I'm going to read the caption. It says, Trina's husband, that's Trina Braxton, husband Vaughn, opens up about how when Tracy died, which is her sister, Tracy passed away, he saw her grieve the same way as she did for her late husband, Gabe, and felt she still must have had feelings for him. So he said it made him think, what am I doing here? So he's like, what am I doing here? If you're grieving over your ex-husband like that, why am I here? So he says we were a year in, so they were only a year in, and he didn't like any parts of it. So he didn't like the way she was grieving her ex-husband. And when he saw her grieving her sister, because her sister passed away, I think 2 years ago at this point, Tracy, that it reminded him of how she grieved her ex-husband Gabe, and he didn't like it. So that's what he's talking about. Now I want to get y'all thoughts on this, but let's go ahead and listen first. It's kind of low, but so let's listen.
But what you said, what was said on the episode, is that she felt like she was punished for grieving. And that was absolutely true. Yeah, I was angry because, and since we're having this conversation, and here's the thing, this wasn't my idea. She asked me if we would talk about this tonight.
I did.
And anybody that knows me knows that I don't bite my tongue because I don't really care what people think of me. So I'm just going to say it. If you want my honest opinion,
Yes.
I don't see a lot of difference between the way you grieved for Tracy and Gabe. It looked the same to me. There was a little more heat behind Tracy, of course, because it's your sister. But it didn't, to me, and I have nothing to measure it against when Gabe died, so I didn't know anything, but I knew I didn't like it. Because to me, the grief seemed too strong for someone you'd had all those problems with. That's my opinion, because that's the way I look at the world. Now we had a number of conversations about it. We had a number of arguments about it. But it wasn't until Tracy passed and I had time to reflect, probably sitting, on a mountain somewhere by myself, and I'm like, you know what? Those two grieving didn't look all that different to me. And that made me angry. So to me, the grief looked like you still had real strong feelings for the dude. And which made me think, well, what am I doing here? And this is in the moment. We're talking in 2018. We were a year in when this happened. We were a little over a year in when it happened, but it just, I didn't like any parts of it. Now, you can't tell anybody how to grieve. Nope, I wasn't. I was just I wasn't trying to tell her you need to grieve this way. I was just saying that from my perspective, it just looked to be a bit much. And I felt that way then, and I feel that way now. But you have to do things the way you see.
But I still felt like when you knew that when bio dad was absent and he didn't have any children of his own, and he was the one who raised and cared for.
Are you saying this for them?
I'm saying this for you.
But you can't say it for me, because here's the thing. I had no problem with that guy. There was no jealousy. There was nothing, because the moment you told me that he was sick, what did I do? The moment.
Now, before he get into that, let me read this because I want to hear your thoughts on this one. So, Kuroyasha, I hope I'm saying that, $20.99. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I need some detail on how she grieved exactly. We got to be reasonable. You can still have fond memories with an ex and be sad they passed away. I agree with that. Thank you for the super chat. Well, to her current husband, he felt like she was grieving a little bit too hard. And, and he just thought that, seeing as they had issues in their marriage, her ex-husband, her husband, and all the things that he done to her negatively, he felt like she should not have been grieving as hard. To him, he felt like she was doing, it was way more than what he felt it should have been. And he felt some kind of way. He felt like, wait a minute, why am I here? You grieving like that over a person who you say did you dirty? So he just didn't feel like the grief was a bit much. And he's saying this happened in 2018 when they was together for only a year, and that's just how he felt. And he said to this day, he still feel that same way. So, you know, what do y'all think on that? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Is there a certain way that you should expect the person to grieve, or how? I mean, isn't that something you can't really contemplate? You can't really contemplate how you're going to grieve somebody. Some people don't cry at all. Some people cry a lot. I guess it depends on the person and the relationship you had. Now, she was with Gabe for a long time. I don't know how many years. He raised her two sons. They had in and out relationship. They've, was divorced, remarried, and all of these types of things. And so when he passed away, she was dating Vaughn, and he saw that and he didn't like it, he said, which I mean, he has feelings too. So, I mean, I'm not going to disregard his feelings. At least he was honest about it and say, hey, I didn't like that. What person would want to see the person that they love crying over somebody else, crying over another woman or crying over another man? I don't think anybody going to be comfortable with that. But at the same time, can you really tell somebody how to grieve? Is my question. But before I get to the question, let's go ahead and finish. Let's watch some more of this.
The moment you found out that he was sick, you were like, I have these remedies. I need you to, yes, these doctors I can help him with. Yes, absolutely.
Got you on the phone with him and got him on the phone with him.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely
tell the whole story.
But I am. But you didn't give me.
But you weren't.
But you took the time out to say what you needed to say. So it was
enough. Because your first thing should have been the moment that Vaughn found out, he went into help mode because I'll help anybody. So there was no jealousy or anything. I never had any.
I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say that. No, you did. That did come up in an argument one time. There was no jealousy. There was nothing. I had no ill feelings towards the dude. That came in my witnessing or watching the grieving process. That's when it became a problem. So you just gonna sit there?
Wait, what do you mean?
TV show host, and you're just letting dead space. You're not saying anything.
No, it's not that I'm saying dead space. I'm allowing you to say how you feel, because when I did say something, it was
because you were wrong.
And I can't speak for you. I can't speak for you. But, there are a lot of people who are going through this type of situation, and they're going through it.
Who's going through the situation?
Somebody, because, we are not exempt. We go through the same stuff that everybody else goes through. But
this is but here's the thing. It was a unique situation because it wasn't a one-off. It wasn't a one-off. I've never met anybody who was best friends with their ex. That was a new circumstance. I didn't even know that paradigm existed in the world. I had to deal with my ex because we had 3 children together, and I had to talk to her almost every day. And as the kids got older, that weaned off, And so it wasn't just that you were mourning him. It was the fact that you had an ongoing relationship with him that I couldn't process because I've never seen it. Now, just because I don't understand it doesn't mean that it doesn't have a right to exist. So I'm smart enough to know that different people do things differently. I'm just saying in my lifetime, I'd never seen 2 people who were married, had a terrible divorce, and then became best friends. That was some new shit to me.
Listen, you know what? He got a point there. So that would be mind-boggling to a man. Like, come on. Somebody had mentioned that a man couldn't mourn a ex-woman in the presence of his new woman. That is the truth. Most women would try to say, oh, you understand. Most women would not be okay. And I'm just being honest. You would not be okay with your man sitting here crying and boo-hoo crying on the couch or all over the place over a ex-woman or ex, period. Most women would not be okay with that. That's the truth. They would not. They don't give a damn who she was, what she meant to you. They would not be okay with you crying, boo-hooing, and snotting and all that over some woman. They don't care. Most women would not care because I saw a video, and I don't know if it was a skit where this man, he was sitting on the couch, and his woman came in the door, and she said, what's wrong with you? Why you crying? Why you crying? He was like, I just got a phone call. And she was like, what? And he was like, my ex just died. And she was like, oh, and what's wrong with you? Why are you sitting there in the dark acting like that? He was like, I just told you my ex died and it just happened. And she was like, and? She was like, and you sitting in the dark? What you sitting there mourning? Okay, so she died. Okay, moving right along. She was not trying to hear it at all. And I think most women are like that. Most women will not be comfortable with you sitting there crying over an ex. I mean, that's just what it is. They don't really be caring like that. They really don't. They don't have no empathy. They don't have no sympathy. They're like, look, you better not let her see you crying over it, you know, and because she gonna automatically think, what you crying over? It's not happening. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. You know, when it comes to men, it's a bit different. You know, I think at least he was honest about how he felt. He could have hid that. He was like, you know, no. So he didn't like it. He didn't like it. But I mean, to be fair, most women wouldn't like it either. They would not like it. Let me play the last little bit of this.
All I said. And to this date, I still haven't seen it again.
Well, we made better friends.
You said that.
He literally raised.
He did. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he literally raised the children. And
he went to bat for those kids when
yes.
nobody else would. He taught them how to be men when there was nobody else to do it. He was a good, solid human. My problem wasn't with that dude. It wasn't with him at all. Oh, you know what we're missing? We don't have the...
No,
you said that you felt that I punished you.
Oh, child. That's a lot. That's a lot. You know, that's a lot. That's a lot. Child, didn't Lisa Marie do that over Michael Jackson? Didn't she cry and didn't she do all kinds of stuff? And her husband end up, and rest in peace to her, because she's no longer here as well. But didn't Lisa Marie was doing keeping up Neverland and doing all kinds of stuff? When Michael Jackson passed away, to the point to where her husband said enough was enough, and they ended up breaking up, right? So Lisa Marie Presley and her husband ended up divorcing because she was still mourning Michael Jackson. She couldn't stop. And they hadn't even been together. And it's like, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I thought that was just interesting because I know for a fact most women will not tolerate that. They will not. You better go cry in the car. You better go by your homeboys and cry, whatever. Better not let her see you crying because she's not gonna. They're not gonna be sensitive to that. So, what do you guys think of this whole situation? Do y'all think, that's a red flag that she's crying so hard for that man? I mean, he passed away. He's no longer here. It's not like she can go back to him. Let me see. Now, DeeDee, you just sat up here and talked about how we need to get off of selfishness and women. And now the woman is not caring enough to understand about the ex, and the woman is not caring enough to understand about the ex dying. That was still his wife. Hold on, let me read this again. You just sat up here and talked about how we need to get off of selfishness with women, and now the woman is not caring enough to understand about the ex dying. That was still his wife. Shoot, some don't care about the man anyways. Sasha says facts. She will throw a party. Oh Lord, don't say that, Nigel. You won't have to worry about. Let me see. He on the internet complaining like a woman that's weak. Oh my God. And that's exactly why men don't have sympathy or empathy for women anymore, because of people like this. Women be crazy. His problem was with her being completely inconsiderate. She knows she shouldn't be rubbing an X in her new man's face all the time. Ray Charles cried over an X in the movie. Damn. I'm out of this. Is getting crazy. We can't have double standard. DeeDee, God bless. DeeDee, I have that link. Classic Perspective, send me the link like to it on Instagram. If you can send it on Instagram. How would she actually feel if someone she cared about dies? She feel better, wouldn't she? How would she actually feel if someone she cared about dies? She'd feel better, wouldn't she? Alex says I couldn't. Simps tolerate that. Zick says Mike had Lisa Spring. He used to smack her on the. Oh my God. Women are emotional. Everyone knows that. When a woman has an ex as a best friend, stay away from her. Women have no empathy. Man, shaking my head. I'd rather stay single for all that. She has a right to mourn, Sasha says. She has a right to be alone. Oh my God, Romney says. The point people want to forget is X-Man, your sister, not the same crying. Oh, okay. Because that's what he said. He's like, the mourning for, he expected her to grieve differently than she grieved with her ex. Like the grief should have been, I guess, different because that was her ex and this is her sister. The woman is just downright disgusting and trifling, disrespecting the dead. He accepted it in the beginning, so he should accept her grieving, or at least not complain about it. I hear what you're saying. Fourth Dimension. Successful MD says selfish. Romney says bingo. Ray H, I'm here with this female YouTuber content creator. She flew in, spend the weekend with me. She said hello. She watched you. I can't say name. I'm out. Well, thank you for that, Ray. Listen, this is a sticky situation. I've never experienced this, so I can't really speak on too much. I don't, I just know, look, you never know how people are going to feel. This is something that, couples have gone through, they've had exes or they've been married before and, they're in a new marriage and then one of the others get mad because there's more than a person. Like, how do you, I can't really speak on that. I've never been through that. And the thing is, you would think, look, if you've been married to somebody for a lot of years, say you've been married for 20 years to a person and they passed away and y'all have children together and you get remarried, right? Whether it's the man or the woman and you get remarried, do you suspect that if that ex-husband passed away, now you share kids with this person, y'all been married for years and you get married again and they pass away, y'all somehow broke up and, you remarried, would you, when that person passes, would you considerably expect that person to mourn or grieve? They've been with that person for 10 years, 20 years, they have children with them. Wouldn't you expect them to have feelings? And wouldn't it show that they really care for the person? And is that the reason why the new person is mad? Because it shows that they actually care for that person. They just didn't work out. The relationship didn't work out. Wouldn't it kind of show you that that person still, do you look at it as men? Do you guys, if that was your wife, ex-wife, well, it was your wife and she was married to her ex and they broke up and then y'all got married, would you look at it as, oh, she still has feelings for him? Or the fact that she loved this person, the love that she had for the person don't just disappear. Do y'all think that that's disrespectful for her to mourn or grieve her ex-husband that they share kids with, that she's been with for 20 years? Do you look at it as, oh, she's being disrespectful to you? Or do you look at it that she actually loved that person and she's grieving because she loved them? They're not together, but there are memories and a whole life with that person. Do you reasonably understand that, or do you think that is disrespectful? Because think about it, if y'all end up being together for years and then you pass away, would you want her to ignore would you not want her to grieve you, or would you want her to just not grieve and hold it in, or what? I don't. What y'all? I want y'all to answer that, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Let's see. He was jealous. Watching her cry just triggered it. That's what Nigel says. Ish G says, is it acceptable if the shoe was on the other foot? I agree with Fourth Dimension. Guys who started off as a beta orbiter are more likely to tolerate their women grieving over a deceased ex. Unaddressed trauma is not good. Zick says, I get the mourning, but you have to be careful about how you display it to your new partner. Okay. I am Alex says true. He said he had never seen exes as best friends and he felt crazy about it. He should have passed on her. Yes, I agree. DeeDee, I have absolutely no sympathy for people who wreck their lives making stupid decisions. It's not worth being ignorant. I understand that. It seems odd to me. There's a reason people are exes. I think the man was disputing the fact that she introduced the subject with him being jelly instead of being helpful. I get it. Trey 979 says that. Gold Coastal says you end up with Jada Pinkett just to throw it in your face deliberately. It's disrespectful. Nigel says this is what women used to do. Sorry in advance if you find this disturbing, but this is part of my Indian culture that the British end up stopping. Jeffrey Willen says seems like you can't win either way. What is it? Sati, also known as sati, was a historical Hindu practice in which a widow would self-immaculate on her deceased husband's funeral. The practice was seen as a demonstration of a widow's devotion and loyalty to her husband. I would want my baby mama to mourn me once I pass. Yet, if when you're mourning your ex, you need to be careful how you do it. I don't agree with the exes as best friends. I hear your Fourth Dimension. My ex's new man started off as a beta other orbiter, which is why I try to keep okay. Double standards modern women have created is some of cause for the way this man feels. I never wanted to be friends with any of my exes. Yeah, I don't agree with the friends being the exes being friends. I don't agree with that. Now I don't agree with that. I'm just talking about if they passed away. Like I don't agree with you being buddy with your exes. No, because there is a reason why y'all are ex. I don't believe that, buddy. I don't believe that. I don't agree with that. But could have expressed his feelings earlier to her in private. I think he said they had arguments about it in the past. Never get back with an ex. It's like walking into a train wreck. Preston says, y'all throwing insults. Hashtag sad. It's okay to cry over an ex. It natural if it spent any significant time with them, unless you are a sociopath, right? Fourth Dimension agree. X is exactly X. Some have a lot of X-Men. Okay, men have a low tolerance for weak men. Okay, yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up. I mean, people have different perspectives and thoughts on it, and that's fine, different opinions. So, some think it's disrespectful, some say it's understandable, but it's how you do it. I do think you have to be respectful and mindful of the person that you're with, but I also think that it's got to be, you got to have some type of understanding that if you've been with somebody, especially if it's your ex-husband or ex, I guess ex somebody you was married to for a long time and y'all got children, I'm looking at it like that. Okay, if you care for the person, you're going to grieve. You're going to have some, unless you didn't care for them. If you didn't care about them, you was just there for the money and you don't care, there's not going to be no feelings. You're like, oh, well, so they died, whatever. Or but I think it's reasonable to have some feelings behind a person that you was with for years that you cared about at one point, if you cared. But I think how you go about it, that's something you have to keep in mind with your new person, because they're not gonna, I don't think they're gonna like seeing you crying over, especially another man. Like, I don't think from what I'm seeing, most men ain't gonna like that. So yes, hit the like button, you guys. Hit the like button. I think we got the likes up, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank y'all once again for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button on your way out, you guys. Thank y'all once again for being here, for giving your 2 cents on the topics, for chiming in, chatting with me, you guys. I appreciate you so much for that. Thank you all for your perspective, your opinions, everything that you contribute to this channel. I appreciate you so much. Also, make sure you guys are continuing to watch the videos that are posted on the channel already. That definitely helps the sister out. Go ahead and watch the videos. Hit that like button. Share them if you can. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content or go live. So, and if you are in the building and you're new here and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you once again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Labor Day, you guys. It is the Labor Day weekend. So hope you enjoy your holiday. Just enjoy the rest of your week, you guys. Y'all be safe out here in these streets. Y'all take care. I love you guys. Thank you so much to everybody who gave super chats or cash apps to support the channel. I appreciate you so much. Y'all be safe. Until next time, I will see you guys soon. Mwah. Bye.